traditional with the modern. It blows apart some of the artificial barriers that tend to exist in the ecclesiastical way of thinking. There will be the essential elements of a Church of England funeral service. There will be the familiar scripture sentences sung by the choir, the prayers led by the Archbishop of Canterbury, the words of commendation spoken by the Dean. But there will also be poems read by Diana's two sisters, a tribute by a younger brother, Earl Spencer, and he's proved himself in recent days to be someone who says exactly what he thinks. Verdi, sung by the BBC Singers, and Lynn Dawson, the most talented young British soprano who's flown in from Berlin especially to be here. A popular song from Elton John, touchingly rewritten in the last few days, especially for this occasion. An incredibly moving piece by John Taverner, a song for Athene, written originally 4 years ago for a young girl he heard reading Shakespeare here in the Abbey, a girl killed soon after in a cycling accident. It incorporates the words of William Shakespeare's epilogue to Hamlet and the words of the Orthodox funeral service. This will be a service put together in 48 hours. No one asked to participate said no, whatever the logistical problems. The sub-organists, the lay clerks and choristers have all volunteered to come back from their summer vacation. Some have had to fly back thousands of miles to get here. So this family funeral in the inevitably royal setting of the Abbey will itself be a fitting tribute from a lot of different people of different backgrounds and different ages to the esteem and love in which this young woman, Diana, Princess of Wales, was held.
The cortege with the Royal Standard still on its way down South Carriage Drive through the thick ranks of mourners at the south side of Hyde Park. The standard with the lilies on it and the fringe of ermine, heraldic ermine that is, a piece of linen sewn onto the Royal Standard with crosses on it to distinguish it from a normal standard. And inside the Abbey, still more guests arriving. There's Richard Branson, a close friend of the Princess, who's been talking publicly about her during the week. We saw earlier Baroness Thatcher. We saw a brief glimpse of William Hague, the new leader of the Conservative Party. Paddy Ashdown and his wife, the leader of the Liberal Democrats. The leaders of the main parties were asked on the basis that those who went to the cenotaph service in November would be here and not others. A state funeral of the kind we're accustomed to would have far more people in uniform than we have here. Just one or two people you see in uniform, but there as private guests. But most of the people culled from a wide range. Robert Runcie, the Archbishop of Canterbury, coming in, who married them in St. Paul's, the Princess and the Prince of Wales 16 years ago, and will be taking part in this service today, reading some of the prayers. Virginia Bottomley behind, the former Secretary of State for Health. The Cabinet Secretary, Sir Robin Butler, the tall figure with the grey hair coming in. And Bill Deeds there, just a brief glimpse. Robin Cook, the Foreign Secretary, and William Hague on his right, leader of the Conservative Party. Bill Deeds, with whom she did so much work for mines in recent months. And the charity workers are already assembling now, waiting to join the procession. John Prescott, the deputy leader of the Labour Party. Sir Edward Heath, the stooping figure there, just disappearing through the door of the gateway. When I say these names, it sounds as though this is a state funeral in the old sense, but of course these are the faces that we know. Many of the people among them are people who are just private friends of the Princess, or people who worked in her charities. But among them these distinguished figures, Lord Callaghan, the former Labour Prime Minister, Baroness Jay on the left, who's spoken often of the Princess. She worked with her in the black hat there. She worked with her in the AIDS charities and has talked about her work. Ivor Richards, Lord Richards, the leader of the Labour Party in the House of Lords. So there is a wide range of people coming here, and these other charity workers are gathering at the Mall. They're going into the road, Stableyard Road, from which they will emerge later to follow the cortege. They go round the back here, and when they come out, it'll be out of Marlborough Street onto the Mall. Each of the 110 charities that she supported, at one point she cut them back to half a dozen in the last year or so, but each of them has been invited to send 5 representatives here under the towering statue of Queen Victoria, who looks up the Mall towards Trafalgar Square. And all the time, at a slow pace, drawn by its 6 dark bay horses, with the rumble of the wheels and the click of their hooves, this sad procession works its way through London towards the Abbey. And as it goes, on each side, the crowds look and watch. Some take photographs, some pray, some are in tears. All of them come here simply to pay their homage, and thousands others there watching in Hyde Park on the television monitors. The father of Dodi Al-Fayed, Mohammed Al-Fayed, the owner of Harrods, the London store, whose son became a friend of the Princess in the last months, and who buried his son at the Regent's Park Mosque on Sunday under Muslim tradition within 24 hours of their death together in that car crash in Paris.